Hey everyone, Happy Dude here, and happy holidays for everyone. So I recently made a video where I explained that you cannot play the new Indiana Jones game if you don't have a RTX card. And I also pointed out that I still have a 1080 Ti. Now, most of you liked the video and agreed with me, but some of you pointed out and told me, bro, your GPU is 8 years old. It's time for a new one. And yes, I know it's 8 years old, but if I had the money, I would already bought a new RTX card. But I don't have the money, and it's not very nice to point out to someone that he's poor. So I agree, it's an old card, but it's not obsolete.
Old, but not obsolete. Not yet.
But anyway, that wasn't the point of the video. The point was that they built ray tracing technology inside the engine of the new Indiana Jones games, so you can only play it with a modern RTX card. And I think that's very anti-consumer, because with older games you can turn it on when you have an RTX card and it stays off when you have a older GTX card. And I think they did it on purpose, because Nvidia knows that still a lot of people have these old GTX cards, and the 1080 Ti is the king, the daddy. And I think it goes even further than that. You see, the only other company that was making graphics cards was AMD. You see, AMD wasn't only making great CPUs and passing Intel at that point, but their GPUs were also getting better and better and cheaper than Nvidia. And I think that's why Nvidia made the new ray tracing technology, so they could secure their place in the GPU market. Now, in the beginning it flopped, because the 2080 Ti was just a tiny bit more powerful than the 1080 Ti. And it was way more expensive, but yes, it did have the new RTX cores on board, but the performance for ray tracing was just laughable, and there was only one game at the time, and that was Battlefield 5. Do you guys still remember that? Now, I agree, the technology is amazing, but gamers didn't ask for this. All they wanted was more detail at a higher resolution with more FPS, and they didn't get that. In fact, they got less FPS for more money.
That's impossible.
Of course.
How would you do that with RTX off?
Yeah, how does that look? Like this here. So let's, yeah.
Wow, that
back
looks
on.
incredible.
And it's, of course, it's updating dynamically, everything.
Reflections will never be the same again.
And that's true, it wasn't the same again, because gamers all over the world complained that the overall performance and the FPS was way too low. So Nvidia had to optimize it, and they also introduced DLSS. If you don't know what it does, it basically reduces the resolution and the amount of pixels, so you have better performance. And then it uses AI to upscale it, and also to guess what the frames would be between the frames you already have. So that way it can boost your FPS immensely. To me, that just sounds very funny, because think about it. They made a new technology that makes performance worse in games. Then they invented another new technology to reduce the resolution and details you have, and then upscale it with artificial intelligence to make it what it used to be. And they went to all that trouble just to have some more realistic lighting in games, and nobody really asked for it, but we still got it. And games look worse now because they are upscaled with AI, so you have artifacts popping in and out. And if you don't use DLSS and frame generation, the games are unplayable. Even with a 4090, you just can't do it if you turn everything on, like global illumination, ray tracing, path tracing, and all that other stuff, it will bring every graphics card to its knees. And you get all that for the price of, let me look it up. The price now for a 4090 is, Jesus Christ. A few years back you could have bought a complete gaming PC for that kind of money. But I know, time moves on, everything is getting more advanced and expensive to make, so ray tracing is here now, so does it make the game look better and play better and more realistic? Well, in a short word, no. You see, I found some clips from Hardware Unboxed, and he explained and showed it very well that games look worse now with ray tracing, and in Cyberpunk it's just way over the top. Nothing in the real world is this reflective. You can see it very well here in the Harry Potter game. So with ray tracing off, it looks like normal concrete, and then when you turn ray tracing on, it just becomes a mirror. Sorry, but that's not realistic. And look how grainy and noisy the picture is with ray tracing. And look at this blackboard. I have never in my life seen such a reflection in a blackboard. They just made ray tracing so over the top, so every material becomes reflective, so light bounces off of everything, even on materials that don't do it. And that's just how they made it, so it can pop out, so you really see a difference, so people would buy it. So some games look grainy, even if you turn off the grain filter. Some games look blurry, and some have a vibration in the picture, and it looks very, very noisy. And why is that? Well, they actually had to reduce the ray tracing that is in the game, because if you have full ray tracing on, no single GPU in the world could handle that. You see, a special editing computer with a GPU of more than $10,000 can work weeks on a scene of just a few seconds with full ray tracing. And then you also have the AI technology that reduces the picture quality and the resolution to make it playable. So I don't think we are ready for full ray tracing in games right now. I really love the technology, but it's simply just too expensive, and it even doesn't look that realistic. So if we ignore all the grainy effect and the blurriness and all the artifacts, the ray tracing itself also isn't that realistic, because the sun doesn't move in games. And also look at this. There's a big delay between the movement of your character and then the lighting in the room itself. Does that look realistic to you? So I think my point stands. The technology is not ready yet, and it's just too expensive. But if you're happy with it, that's fine, but just don't force it on to people. So don't call them out that they are less fortunate than you, so they can't really buy the latest and greatest graphics card. And I hope they don't follow the example of Indiana Jones and build ray tracing inside the engine of all other new modern games that have to come out. But they probably will, because, well, Nvidia is a company and they want to make more money. And now it's time to give your opinion in the comments below. Do you agree with me, or am I completely wrong? And also don't forget to like and subscribe, and I all wish you a happy new year. Bye.